The Magic of Thinking Big, chapter number 1, episode 2. Over the years, I have talked with many people who have failed in business ventures and in various careers. I have heard a lot of reasons and excuses for failure. Something especially significant unfolds as conversations with failures develop. In a casual sort of way, the failure drops a remark like, to tell the truth, I didn't think it would work. Or I had my misgivings before I even started out. Or someone says, like, actually, I was not too surprised that it didn't work out. The okay, I will give it a try, but I don't think it will work attitude produce failure. Sometimes you also say like that, right? So, okay, I'll give it a try, but I don't think it will work. If you say like this, you are preparing for the failure. Disbelief is a negative power. When the mind disbelieves or doubts, the mind attracts the reasons to support the disbelief. Doubt, disbelief, the subconscious will to fail. The not really wanting to succeed is responsible for most failures. Now you are seeing like lot of competitions, lot of failures in the interviews, right? So they have somewhere little self doubt or disbelief that there is too much competition over there. So that is the responsible for the failure. Think doubt and fail. Think victory and succeed. So, what do you want to think? Whether you want to think doubt or whether you want to think victory. I have seen one interview from Hardik Pandya recently. He in this video he said that he has received one powerful motivational message from MS Dhoni. Says like always think about the victory. Always think about the victory and how you traverse into that. A young fiction writer talked with me recently about her writing ambitions. The name of one of the top writers in her field came up. She said, "Oh, Mr. X is a wonderful writer, but of course I cannot be nearly as successful as he is." Her attitude disappointed me very much because I know the writer mentioned. He is not super intelligent, nor super perceptive, nor super anything else except super confident. He believes he is among the best, and so he acts and performs the best. It is well to respect the leader, learn from him, observe him, study him, but don't worship him. Believe you can surpass, believe you can go beyond. Those who harbor the second best attitude are invariably the second best doers. Look at it this way: belief is the thermostat that regulates what we accomplish in life. Study the fellow who is shuffling down there in mediocrity. He believes he is worth little, so he receives little. So, if you are thinking of less CTA, like less CTC of your current job, you receive the same. Believe that you are meant to for higher. He believes he cannot do big things and he does not. So don't believe like small things. He believes he is unimportant, so everything he does has an unimportant task, unimportant mark. As time goes by, lack of belief in himself shows through in the way the fellow talks, walks, and acts. Like we say that Trikarana Shuddhi, right? Talk, walk, act. Unless he readjusts his thermostat forward, he shrinks, grows smaller and smaller in his own estimation. And since others see in us what we see in ourselves, he grows smaller in the estimation of the people around him. Now, look across the way at the person who is advancing forward. Who is your manager? Who is your senior level professional manager? He believes he is worth much and he receives much. He believes he can handle big and difficult assignments and he does it. Everything he does, the way he handles himself with people, his character, his thoughts, his viewpoints all say Here is a professional. He is an important person. A person is a product of his own thoughts. Let me repeat this. A person is a product of his own thoughts. Believe big. Adjust your thermostat forward. Launch your success offensive with honest, sincere belief that you can succeed. Believe big and grow big. Several years ago, after addressing a group of businessmen in Detroit, I talked with one of the gentlemen who approached me, introduced himself, and said, I really enjoyed your work. Can you spare a few minutes to me? I had liked very much to discuss a personal experience with you. In a few minutes, we were comfortably seated in a coffee shop waiting for some refreshments. He started to speak. He began with, I have a personal experience that ties in perfectly with what you have said this evening about making your mind work for you instead of letting it work against you. I have never explained to anyone how I lifted myself out of the world of mediocrity, but I'd like to tell you about it. And I said, I'd like to hear it about it. Well, just 5 years ago, I was plodding along, just another guy working in the tool and die trade. I made a decent living by average standards, but it was far from ideal. Our home was much too small, and there was no money for those many things we wanted. My wife, bless her, didn't complain much, but it was written all over that she was more resigned to her fate than she was happy. Inside, I grew more and more dissatisfied. When I let myself see how I was failing my good wife and two children, I really hurt inside. But today, things are really different. My friend continued. Today, we have a beautiful new home on a 2 acre land and a year round cabin a couple hundred miles north of here. There is no more worry about whether we can send the kids to a good college, and my wife no longer has to feel guilty every time she spends money for some new clothes. Next summer, the whole family is flying to Europe and spend a month's holiday. We are really living. I asked, how did this all happen? He continued to say, it all happened when, to use the phrase you used tonight, I harnessed the power of belief. I harnessed the power of belief. 5 years ago, I learned about a job with a tool and die company here in Detroit. We were living in Cleveland at that time. I decided to look into it, hoping I could make a little more money. I got here early on Sunday evening, but the interview was not until Monday. After dinner, I sat down in my hotel room, and for some reason, I got really disgusted with myself. Why? I asked myself. Why am I just a class failure? Many people are living in their middle class life, right? So he was asked himself, like, why am I just a middle class failure? Why am I trying to get a job that represents such a small step forward? I don't know to this day what prompted me to do it, but I took a sheet of hotel stationery and wrote down the names of 5 people I have known well for several years who had far surpassed me in earning power and job responsibility. Two were former neighbors who had moved away to find subdivisions. Two other fellows I had worked for, and the third was my brother-in-law. Next, again, I don't know what made me to do this. I asked myself, what do my 5 friends have that I don't have beside better jobs? I compared myself with them on intelligence, but I honestly could not see that they excelled in their brains department, nor could I truthfully say that they had me beat on education, integrity, or personal habits. Finally, I got down to another success quality one hears a lot about, which is nothing but initiative. Here, I hated to admit it, but I had to. On this point, my record showed I was far below that of my successful friends. It was now about 3 am, but my mind was astonishingly clear. I was seeing my weak point for the first time. I discovered that I had held back. I had always carried a little stick. I dug into myself deeper and deeper and found the reason I lacked initiative was because I did not believe inside that I was worth very much. I sat there the rest of the night just reviewing how lack of faith in myself had dominated me ever since I could remember. How I had used my mind to work against myself. I found I had been preaching to myself why I could not get ahead instead of why I could. I had been selling myself short. I found this streak of self depreciation showed through in everything I had. Then it dawned on me that no one else was going to believe in me until I believed in myself. So the secret mantra for you here is believe in yourself first before others believe in you. Right then, I decided I am through feeling second class. From here on in, I am not going to sell myself short. Next morning, I still had that confidence. During the job interview, I gave my newfound confidence its first test. Before coming for the interview, I had hoped I would have courage to ask for $750 or maybe even $1,000 more than my present job was paying. But now, after realizing I was a valuable man, I upped it to $3,500. Can you believe that? What I was initially thought of $750, it was almost 5 times $3,500 I got it. I sold myself because after that one long night of self analysis, I found things in myself that made me a lot more saleable. Within 2 years after I took that job, I had established a reputation as the fellow who can get business. Then we went into a recession. This made me still more valuable because I was one of the best business getters in the industry. The company was reorganized and I was given a substantial amount of stock plus a lot more pay. The more important message here is believe in yourself and great things do start happening. Your mind is a thought factory. We will see about what is all this thought factory about it in the next episode. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing, share your top 3 lessons what you have learned on this episode in the comments below.